Yo, yo. Yes, Jam. What we
Yo,
saying? How you doing?
good. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm enjoying being sat down. I feel like I've been on the move constantly the last few weeks. So yeah, it's been a busy one. It's been a busy one.
Yeah, what you been up to, man? Like work wise. Don't need to give us all the details, but like project wise, anything
At
exciting.
the moment, yeah, at the moment it's a big push for AW21. So our winter campaign and how that looks on social. So yeah, it's been a busy few weeks trying to plan that out and how it looks from a creative perspective. And yeah, just getting our ducks in a row a bit with the rest of the team. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. This has been my first like crack at a season by myself. So yeah, it's been busy. I feel like I've not been able to chill. Even like when I finish work, I'm doing research on socials just to see what's popping and what's not. But yeah, it's fun. It's part of the job, I guess.
It is, man. I feel like whenever like people talk about social, I think that they think it's so easy because they work. Like, so a lot of people they use social on a personal level, but when you work in social, it feels like it's 24 hours.
Doesn't stop. Doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop, man.
I
But
can't like it's enjoyable. It doesn't feel like work when I'm doing it, which is the main part. That's the enjoyable part of it.
yeah, I think that's one of the big benefits of like marketing. Like when you get to go to like events, like it takes you around the country and around the world in certain essence if you're lucky. And that part, I feel like people don't understand when they work in just regular jobs. Like, oh, what you went to the Anthony Joshua fight? Yeah, like
Yeah.
and it was work. He's like, yeah, nah, you don't really work. You know what I mean? But
Like that. We're in London this weekend actually on Sunday.
nice. What for?
We've got a stall at Crep City. It's like a trainer event, but one of our collections are there with a stall, so they pulled me in to do social for them. So it'll be fun. It'll be good.
That's sick, man. That's sick. All right, cool. I
Yeah,
think what we saying, we should dive into this topic, man. A few things have been happening this week. Um,
man, it's been busy.
yeah, it's been a busy week. It always is a busy week, really, in social. I feel like it's hardly ever anything like nothing's like gone viral or whatever. I think the big thing we saw was the head of social media, no, or the head of Instagram. He was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. And it's just, I guess, like what I liked is that they always come with the real questions that the people really want to know. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
Like, so,
mhm.
how do I get verified? What's this thing about the algorithm? Why do I keep seeing cars, 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 cars? Like those types of things, in it. So I just wanted to kind of dissect it a little bit and see what maybe we didn't know about Instagram. Like I'm gonna name this episode is Instagram listening to your conversations because I think a lot of people think that they think that Instagram is listening. So I think throughout the podcast, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Uh,
What I liked as well is him, just his decision to go on the show because he obviously wants to be part of the culture. I can imagine diversity and inclusion is a big thing on Instagram as it is everywhere else in the world. So it was good to see him make that leap and go into. It was probably a bit of like unfamiliar territories for him. He's probably not used to being surrounded by DJ Envy, Charlemagne, and Angela Yee. So yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see him in a different environment than what I've seen him in the past.
yeah, no, I think it's good. I mean, it's one for the culture. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Access to
mm,
something like that and them not feel too threatened by it. I like, certain people that we've seen or we know who have been like banned from Instagram for whatever reason and like getting explanations for those types of things. I think, yeah, it's good. It's good. I think we should probably start it off with like so one thing he mentioned in the interview was that Instagram are working on a new platform specifically to target kids, which is
mhm,
quite interesting. We're both newly fathers, or young fathers, or dads. I don't even know what the word is, but yeah,
mhm.
dope black dads. I'll call it that. Um, and I think it's interesting because the world that we grew up in our children are going to grow up in a completely different digital revolutionized world, right? So
Mhm.
it'll be good to get a take from you, like Instagram for your kid. and specifically targeting kids, I guess, under the age of 11, I believe, because I believe there's a thing that if you're like 12/13, you wouldn't want to be on a platform that's deemed for kids simply because you're about, do you know what I mean? You rather lean towards the adult. So this one's kind of aimed for those under the age of 11. No advertising on there, lots of parental controls. So, your parents know what's happening, like the messaging and what you're
Mm.
posting and, all that kind of stuff. What's your take on it, man?
Nah, it's a good move. I can't lie, especially as, like you said, being a father now, you got to think about these things. And at the moment, Instagram it's a free for all. Like there's no safe space for kids, like whatever age they may be. So being able to regulate that age group and give them a platform that they can use, they can share with their friends, and the parents have confidence that they're safe. Because at the moment, these kids are creating these accounts and you don't know what they're being exposed to. So being able to regulate that space is important for us and it's important for the kids.
Yeah.
Because it is a free for all.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I hope that they do kind of do things properly. But again, it's a challenge. Social media in itself is a challenge. Like he goes on to say much more about kind of some of the challenges he faced, but we can, talk about that as we go along. But I think the idea of a platform solely for kids, I think is good. It'll be interesting to see what differences it will have to, I guess, the adult Instagram. Like, is there going to be more cohesion? How would it bring kids together? How do we combat, things like bullying and things like that? Like when we were bullied, I think Charlemagne or DJ Envy, like you mentioned this, like if you were bullied back when you were younger, you would just go home. You would never see that bully for like a bunch of hours. But if that bully bullies you at school and then you, I guess, get bullied at home as well, like whilst you're on the internet and stuff, like
There's no escaping.
there's
Yeah,
no
there's no escape.
escaping it. There's no escaping it. So it'll be very interesting to see like how they can combat things like that. I don't know if the parent control is a good or a bad thing. We've both seen things like Black Mirror, and you see things go really left. You know what I mean? Like the control thing, it's like, I don't know, but I know that you want to be able to put like, your kids shouldn't be exposed to certain things too soon or too, like before they can get a grasp of other things. I feel like they need to, that they need to be drip fed certain things. They can't just be like bow and exposed to something so soon. You know what I mean? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But it's definitely a big move for them, man.
Yeah, we've seen it with YouTube though. YouTube made a step. I want to say about 2 years ago with their YouTube Kids platform, which is regulated advertisement. Again, it's just a safe space for kids where they can search terms and get the right content being shown to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine you kids searching. I don't know. I can't even think of a phrase at the moment, but yeah, they could search something like long banana. I've got a banana in front of me, and you don't know what could pop up on YouTube. So just being in a space where they can search these child-friendly terms and get content that's suitable for them is important. So yeah, it's a good move from Instagram. It's just following suit from Google and YouTube. But again, it's the landscape at the moment, man. Everything's going to get regulated for hopefully for the better. But yeah, these social companies have so much control, which is a scary thought, but also it's the world we live in. So we just got to get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, I think we definitely need a whole podcast of what maybe social media could look like in 10 years' time, and need an episode on that. I think we could build a landscape, so we can call it like, it was Black Mirror, correct or wrong? Yeah, we can do that.
Your stuff like VR, that's should come into play. To be fair, I thought VR would come into play more like in 2021. Like I thought by this stage, VR would be like a regular occurrence in our lives. I know Facebook started pushing Oculus, which is their headset, about 5 years ago, and I thought by now that might be in play. But yeah, definitely within the next 10 years, I could.
I don't know. I feel like those types of things are it's very difficult, like, because it is super futuristic, and guess what? Yeah, I can wear this, but are the three of us, like, if you're at home, like the family of three or whatever, going to be having the on them to experience something? I don't know. I feel like it's very personal. Like, I feel like you have to be really clued up, techie, and then you'll get there. I feel like that's going to be like a Tesla before, like Tesla, they have to make it all trendy and look nice before people are like buying into it, because before electric cars, you looked mad. And I think VR looks mad right now until they make it like sleek and stuff. I feel like we're quite away from it. Personally, I could be wrong, but Gary Vee talks about all the time. He's super into VR. So yeah, man, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
I guess back to
that's a topic for another day. Yeah,
trust me, it is. But back to Instagram. I guess another thing that popped up on the podcast or on the radio show, the interview, was how do people get verified? You know, we've spoken before previously about like getting the blue tick. A lot of people, it's like their life in it. It's like as soon as you get a blue tick, it's like, oh, I'm a celeb. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you're VIP now. So you know what I mean? So he kind of touched on that, which I thought was quite interesting. Obviously, I don't know if you've come across it. I come across it so many times that people DMing you, oh yeah, pay me this, and I get you a blue tick. Like we get all these spammers always trying to do that, and literally those are normally the people who hack people's accounts. Do you know what I mean? Because you got a lot of people who are like on the verge of being kind of celebrity, but they're not quite celebrity. You can have a lot of followers. Like, look, let's say all these people that like, let's say that twerkers or strippers or whatever, you're not quite a celebrity, but you're known, you're popular. You got followers. So they normally fall into that trap of the blue tick, and then their pages will get hacked, and then, you know, this is what happens. So he touched on that and was like, you know, never trust them. But the main reason for the blue tick was to kind of stop people impersonating like actual people of power, or I guess if you got enough press about you, then you can be impersonated. And I think that's the most important thing. So Nike, Kim Kardashian, Jay-Z, whoever it might be, you guys need to have, because so many people are going to imitate you, create duplicate accounts and things like that. So you need to ensure that, yeah, those people, this is a verified thing that this person has said, you know. And still to this day, you're still seeing people getting hacked that have blue ticks as well, which is crazy, which I also think is another excuse. I think a lot of people, what they do is like, they'll put something out, was a bit politically incorrect.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I was hacked. Suddenly they were hacked, and then they've never hacked again after that. Like, but
people catch on to it. Could be, fam, people see that on Facebook days. You know, like back in the day when you're at school and you might have messaged one girl and it didn't go to plan, and now all of a sudden you've been hacked. It's exactly the same thing.
It's so true. Yeah, man. I don't know. But are you interested in being like having getting a blue tick, or becoming a person of like having enough press out there so you have a blue tick? Like, is that a goal for you?
Nah, not for me. Not for me. Again, it's like a social symbol, but that's not something I'm chasing. If we build an audience, great. But if that came with or without a blue tick, it wouldn't affect my goals. What about you? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, no, man, it's not like fame has never been the focus, man. It's about the impact and the conversation. I think that's definitely the focus. And obviously, if there does come a stage where what I'm saying, someone else is duplicating what I'm saying or imitating me or whatever, then yeah, I need the blue tick. I feel like I need it for those reasons. But again, it's not something that I'm necessarily like striving for or anything like that. So we'll see. But I think it's good just for people to know, like, if you do want a blue tick, you probably just need to get enough press about you out there. Whether it's like, you know, press releases, you're in the newspapers, you're regularly on TV or whatever it might be, you can easily get I don't want to say easily, but that's an avenue for you to get a blue tick, you know. Out there saying something.
And getting in contact with Facebook as well. if you can get an account, like if you've got an audience and you're able to get an account manager on Facebook, that's you're in straight away.
Yeah.
Getting on to know about like, authenticating your account and getting that blue tick.
That's true. It's true. So yeah, man, there's that. I don't really have. We need to start working on these segues, but yeah, open chat. Shadow blocking, and I guess just blocking in general. I don't know. Have you ever had anything taken down from Instagram?
I've not been too public with my Instagram, which might be why. But I know. Have you dealt with stuff on your account?
So I managed a couple of different pages, and we've had I've had my whole account taken down once, and then I had to verify myself and prove this is me and everything. And I think I can't lie. Since then, I feel like my pages hasn't hit that page hasn't hit the heights of which it used to. But there's so many different things that go into that as well. It's the algorithm and just the new features and things like that. But there was times where I'm seeing like some of the images that maybe we've posted being taken down, but then others, they still have theirs up. Or like I think DJ Envy mentioned this in the interview where he said, like, I'm always requesting for Kim Kardashian's pictures to be taken down. Sometimes it's a nipple, sometimes she's naked, sometimes these like nudity images might come up, and they never get
DJ Envy reported.
Pardon?
DJ Envy then reports Kim K's images.
So he reports them because he's like, I don't want to see that. Do you know what I mean?
And where does he follow it?
Yeah, but he's obviously TV personality, radio personality, all that kind of stuff. But like, he has a point, because it does feel like there's like a double standard, because it's like, if you're Kim K, you can do whatever you want. If you're not quite Kim K, you're down here. Yeah, we're just gonna block you, take you down, shadow block you, so you're getting the reach that you once had, or you think you deserve, or whatever. And I feel like there's like it's I think it's a hard one to manage. What he did mention, which I thought was quite interesting, was that what people were doing, like women, like there's a lot of like, I guess, feminists out there who like, look, my image shouldn't be taken down if I'm showing my nipple because I want to show my nipple, which is a fair point. Which is a fair point. But what they were doing was they were photoshopping their nipple, so it had a man's nipple. A man's nipple doesn't get taken down, but a female nipple does. Yeah.
How's that? How is that? It's mad.
It is mad. It's crazy. But yeah, that's exactly what he said. He was like, people are finding their ways around it by doing that, by just photoshopping a male's nipple in it so it stays. So
that is mental. How the AI, Instagram, Facebook AI can spot that is crazy.
Yeah, this is it. And he touches on that as well, to be fair. The whole AI, like how it like detects certain things. So things like hate crime and just like hate speech, I guess, racism and things like that. Like so people might say certain things, right? But you're not gonna have a human on every single account. So they're gonna have an AI that kind of scans everything, because that's what you can do at scale. But then when it comes to interpretation, AI is not going to be good at that. Only a human can maybe interpret the context of what is happening, as opposed to the AI. And I thought that was quite interesting. So like they spoke about like kind of like suicide, like people going on lives and they've committed suicide, or they might be talking about suicidal thoughts or whatever. And like Instagram now has this thing where they're able to kind of offer help to those people, like depending on their stage. Like if they feel like it's like needs immediate care, they can literally get someone sent over there like immediately, or like get in touch with that person kind of like immediately. And then there's others where it's just like, seeking like, I guess, different help at websites or whatever it might be, which I think is a good touch. But again, like sometimes it's only a human who can actually find that compassion to understand that, to know when to do that. Do you know what I mean? So it seems like that's going to be a big issue with social media like throughout the years, because it's gonna be like that. I can't see something like that just going away, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's interesting to know if social media is at fault for all of this, but I feel like it's a world problem anyway. Like the platform wasn't created for there to be hate speech. It's just that it also kind of enables it, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. It gives everyone a voice in a good way, but then Instagram can't control what people say. So
Yeah,
this is their attempt to try and regulate that, I guess.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man. But I don't know. I feel like they were also touched on, I guess, or they touched on like regulators, like governments kind of come into power and then trying to like hit fines with these people. So like if this happens, fine. But he kind of had a good rebuttal to that because he basically said that if you're hitting like Google, Facebook, and everyone with all these fines, if there's like a new social media, like you might have a TikToker, for example, whatever, if they keep getting hit with these fines, then they're unable to go ahead and keep creating like new technology. It's going to be really difficult for them because they're paying so much in fines, so they might not even risk it. So they have to like focus kind of elsewhere. So it's like he said, it's really important that you have to work with government, that there's got to be allowed room for like creativity and new entry points for even just new businesses. And you're not just like shutting out all the new businesses because they can't afford all the fines that are about to come their way. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's an interesting point.
Yeah, about communication first rather than straight up fines. Like you said there, if there's an issue like hate speech, but the technology needs to be developed, it costs money. Then they've got fines coming their way, and that the money obviously goes towards the fines, and they don't have the money to develop the technology of hate speech. Like no one wins. So
Yeah,
it's about just getting communication across first before dishing out these fines, so these tech companies can address the situation rather than just paying fines to. I don't even know what the reason would be for that.
yeah. What was it that Boris Johnson said the other week about Facebook? Like he came in like talking. Do you remember? He was just like, I think he said something about Facebook better sort something out about this right racism or whatever. Or, like otherwise they're gonna get hit with $1 billion fine or something. Do you remember? Like he said, he came out.
I've not heard it. I've not heard it.
I can't. Nah, don't quote me on this. I know people will probably just be like, "Oh, Jules, you said it wrong. It wasn't that, whatever." But he did basically come out and said he kind of basically threatened Facebook, um, and the whole platform, and he basically saying they better sort something out or else. That's me paraphrasing. Yeah, that's not word for word what he said, but it was along those lines. But if I find it, what I'll do is just include it in the description below. But yeah, man, I think it's hard. It is. I feel like we don't realize how hard it is for some of these social media platforms, what they're trying to do because they're trying to grow as well. The side stuff comes out from all of that, you know. Just like when you're a bank and you're growing, suddenly fraudsters, like, do you know what I mean? You got to like somehow manage and deal with that. Do you know what I mean? And there's never a day where there's oh damn, all the fraudsters they're all gone. No, they're finding new ways as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to keep innovating. To be fair, you should probably try and hire some of these people, but yeah, you got to keep like innovating and trying to find new ways and how to deal with it because it's always going to be a problem. You just got to be able to help and support the people that are affected in some way, shape, or form. And I think that just should be a responsibility instead of turning like a turn your cheek to it or whatever. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm back.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else really from the interview that I think we haven't covered. There was like a lot of talk about Lil Boosie and Lil Duval. Um, Lil Duval is like a comedian slash rapper. um, he's like made that that song. I'm living my best life. Yeah, he sang
Yeah.
that song, yeah. But
Okay.
his account has been taken down. Some of his images have been taken down. Sometimes when he says the N word, that gets taken down. And they were discussing like, where do you draw the line with that? You know, because now like they get taken off, you know, Instagram or whatever, and they have to start a new account, or they're just not allowed on there anymore. But it's for
Mm.
something that they're allowed to do in normal life anyway, and it's not, because
Yeah.
saying the N word for Black people in certain places isn't, you know, bad. I'm not going to advise anyone to start saying it or whatever, but people do say it, and it's regular. You hear it in songs or whatever, and
Yeah.
they're empowered to be able to say it. So why not be able to say it? And their audience accepts that they're able to say it. So why should their
Mhm.
pages be taken down?
That's a valid point though, because yeah, the Instagram start making up their own rules and regulations
Mm.
that are different to maybe the country they live in. Yeah, it's a touchy subject. But then I think they should, because again, they have a responsibility in that field to regulate it. But again, with like the N word and stuff like that, it's a tricky one.
It's very
It is a
tricky.
tricky how
You
they position.
say again?
Yeah, it's tricky because how do they position that? Because either way, they're gonna upset someone.
Yeah, I think the aim isn't to keep everyone happy, but I do feel
Mm.
like in those instances, like, come on, let's like, we know what it is. The majority understands. So let's just get it. Let's just fix that, you know, like at least for that instance, like especially for like public figures, maybe, you know. I feel like there's other pages who are saying a lot worse and they still got their pages. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I think Instagram need to look at that one and maybe, you know, definitely try and take some action on that one. So yeah, man. That's that. But yeah, I think it's a lot of updates again. We mentioned last week from Instagram and them coming out and having an interview with Breakfast Club. Again, it's big, super big.
Mm.
And yeah, man, I'm gonna start following Adam now and seeing, you know, what other things he jumps on, because he does seem like quite a cool person.
Yeah,
Um
definitely.
he handled all the questions well, I think. So yeah.
For me, just the transparency, him being public now shows like it allows Instagram to have a face of the platform and someone not you can necessarily go to, but someone that you can get information from that is legitimate. Because
Yeah.
a lot of rumors spread, and there's always a lot of false narrative around the algorithm and like shadow banning and stuff like that. So to get this information from the horse's mouth, it's important for Instagram. It's important for people on social to understand how it works. Because I feel like previously everyone's guessing, guessing how
Yeah.
the algorithm
Yeah.
works, listening
Yeah.
to blogs that might not be legitimate. Like it's just a lot of guesswork. So having that horse's mouth there, it's important, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. And I guess we can finally touch on this part. Like, do you think Instagram is listening to your conversations?
100%, yeah. And by listening, I mean they're getting data from everything we do on there. That's their job really, to
Okay.
make it as much as a personal app for us, so that we stay on it for longer. But yeah, what everything we do, everything we engage with, I don't know how far they go into like DMs and what is spoken about on DMs. I'm not sure if that's like encrypted or what. But yeah, definitely with like comments and what we're commenting on and what we're engaging with, they're definitely taking notes for their own good to personalize the platform a bit better. And I'm hoping that's it. And I'm hoping they're not collecting that data for anything else. But some would beg to differ.
Yeah, yeah, of course, man. I personally wouldn't put it past them. I don't think
Mm,
they would ever admit to listening, but like what you said, I think they're definitely 100% using as much data as they can to make the app um as beneficial as possible for you, you know. They did touch on the algorithm as well. I thought was really interesting. So it's like, you know, you might like a car picture or something, and suddenly your explore page is just loads of cars. But what he mentioned was that what they tried to base it off is from all the data that they have, a person who likes cars also likes other cars. And then they might like, I don't know, they might like, I don't even know what else. let's say they might like also air fresheners or something. So suddenly you might see air fresheners coming into the mix as well. So it's like things like that. Like I guess a better example, I think the one he used was like, oh, say you like skateboarding. Oh, that's great. So a lot of people who like skateboarding also like surfing. So you'll share, like some surfing things like that.
Yeah, I think it's like affinity audiences. Like when you like one thing, you might also like other things as well that are connected to it. But yeah, it's just keeping everything personal, I guess.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I still won't put it past them that they're not listening because I feel like we've all felt like we've said something and suddenly we've seen an ad. So I 100% think they're listening, but they're denying it.
Yeah,
They're denying.
definitely. I remember today, boom, in Instagram ad.
Yeah.
Not gone on, I touched it, but I mentioned it. There it is in front of me.
I like, you know what? I don't like. I don't mind them. I don't mind them listening. That's my like. That's another thing because I think a lot of people is like when they think, oh, I don't like being listened. I think some people they lean towards like, oh, what if I was to do a crime and then they're listening to me and da, 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 da. Like if you're cool, you're cool, and they're using it for better advertising. A lot of people think they're like, oh, I'm gonna rob a bank one day, they're gonna listen. That's not right. Yeah. And it's like, yo, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. So I'm okay with them listening. So if I get personalized ads, then yeah, if they could admit they're listening and then make it better, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think they can admit.
Yeah, obviously it's privacy.
Yeah.
It's privacy, but really and truly, if you got an Alexa or Google Home device or Echo, they're listening. Do you know what I mean? It's all activated. It activates by listening. I don't know if you've ever experienced it where you're just talking and suddenly your phone responding to you based on what you said or whatever. It's listening. It's been listening. I didn't tell it to do any of that. It's already listening. So the answer is yes. They're all listening.
There's no escape.
So yeah, man. But I did want to touch on a couple updates, man. Couple social media updates. So one we saw yesterday, YouTube, they launched a payments of up to $10,000 for the top performing shorts clips. So I know we touched on this last week. So YouTube Shorts coming out. So basically like their version of Reels, or should I say TikTok. And there's like a fund for, I guess, creators to use to, I guess, create the best shorts and put it onto YouTube. I think it's a great initiative, man. Like I'm about to get on there. About to do it.
Waiting, boy. Monetization. I've got a question for you.
Hit me.
Who do you reckon wins this social media battle? Because it feels like at the moment, every single platform is identical to each other. They all have the same features. They're all updating the same features. It will come to a stage where Twitter is now, it won't be just a tweeting format. It won't be a text first format. Instagram is not going to be an image first format. YouTube are now going to shorts where they do stills as well now. YouTube with the community feature. So we're going to a stage where the social landscape is full of apps that all do the same thing. So who comes out on top?
I think there's a space for all of them.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I think like there's a space for all of them because they're all here, they all exist. Yeah, they all exist. And like I guess like Facebook and Instagram, you know what it is, and there's certain audiences on them already. I feel like long like IG can come out with their IGTV. It's just an addition. It's never going to be their driving force. But for YouTube, that's their driving force. Do you see what I'm saying? So like they're all coming out with the same things, but they all rank differently at those different things. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I don't know if we're all just gonna go to one place and just watch everything because I feel like our society doesn't even do that. Like before, we used to have Sky, and that was our everything. Now you got Sky Plus, you got Netflix, you got Disney Plus, you got Amazon, you got them all, and they're all in different places. They all do the same thing. They got like their different elements in in a way with different movies, but all the movies just recycle around all of them anyway. And then they all got their own, you know, Amazon originals, Netflix original, whatever it is, YouTube original, whatever. But they're still all here and they're all still gaining a bit of market share. So I feel like it takes all of them to like be a part of the market. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like they'll all be here to a certain extent. Like if you want to have an argument with someone, you're gonna go to Twitter. Like you're not gonna go on TikTok and be like, yo, these guys, no, Arteta out. No, like you're not gonna do that. You got your platform where you do that. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like they're all, I'm not gonna say they're all here to stay, but the bigger players they're just not gonna go away until there's a next like revolution, whatever that might be. And I don't know what that is. But with this digital revolution, these guys are here for the long term, man. And anything new, they're all adapting to it. And like that kind of leads me into the segue of WhatsApp. Like, WhatsApp, they're coming out with their new feature with disappearing photos and disappearing videos, just like Snapchat. And I'm all for it because I don't want to go on Snapchat anymore.
I've not touched Snapchat in 6 years. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Years, I still touch and go. I'm there, but like not I guess not too often. But yeah, here and there, touch and go, I'm there. But again, like people still do use it. And again, there's some audiences on there that you can still tap into, and you could probably get it at cheap rate than you can on Instagram. And if you put an affiliate, I'm gonna target someone who uses Instagram, but on Snapchat, it's a good little move that you can make there. So yeah, man, why not? Why not? What about you? What you?
What I reckon about
who's here to stay?
Who's here to stay? Okay. Again, the major players will be here: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I guess they're the top four. So it'd be interesting to see how TikTok developed, the rise of Pinterest as well, because I've seen their shares and they've been flying. Again, and if there's any other players that join the race. I know there's people that have tried. There was an app called Visco, which is like an alternative to Instagram that came out, I'd probably say about 3 or 4 years ago now. I know Gary Vee was pushing it, and I was like, yeah, let me be on there first. Let me be the first one so I can build an audience. But then they've not really come out into anything. But again, like I said, I think there is a place for them all. They all have their own audiences and they've all built up that community on there. So I can't see everyone going to one base like Instagram, for example, and consuming all their content there. I think it's just the way people browse on their phone anyway. Like I'll be on Instagram once I'm bored on Instagram. I want to see something new in a different space. So I might go on Twitter. And then when I'm done on there, then I might want some long form content. So I then go on YouTube. So I think that way of consuming social media was always going to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a case of who breaks through into that top four, like who's getting Champions League spot. Like
I feel like
TikTok.
Play your position, man. Like Aston Villa don't come out here thinking they're gonna win the league every year. So they play like a 5th to 10th team, and that's okay. They got their market share. As long as they're in the Premier League, as long as they're in the conversation, it's fine. So I think that's the main thing. And yeah, like try and innovate as much as you can, do everything that you can to obviously be better. But the main thing is maintaining that space in that thing. And I think as long as you play your position, it's fine. Because you can literally just Instagram come out with something. All right, cool. I'm gonna do this as well. Cool. Develop it, done. Yeah, I mean, you could be the cheaper version. There's always gonna be space. How many shoe brands there are? No, there's no top 4. Like ridiculous amount. It's a ridiculous amount. So yeah, I feel like it's like that. I think we have our social media super league already. I think it'll be very hard for people to crack into that. So that's the super league of social media already. And yeah, they're here to stay for me. They're here to stay. I guess the next update is TikTok. They're providing guidance for small to medium-sized businesses to tap into TikTok marketing. So I guess what they want to do is they want small businesses to kind of start advertising on TikTok more, which I think is a good look. I think we've seen it with Instagram, and I think it was amazing. Where loads of small businesses are now got the advert that being able to advertise and posts and things like that. And I think if TikTok can tap into that, it's a good little thing for them as well.
But then I also feel like that is them saying that organic reach is going to be less. I feel like that's their way of masking it. Like they might feel confident that they're in a position now where they can start charging small businesses to be seen. They know a lot of small businesses are going onto the app.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a good thing, and it will be a good thing, but it just means that organic reach is going to be on the decline, which isn't great. But I guess that's true.
I feel like will it decline? Because like, you know, like I feel like Instagram, it has its like, I feel like you can have organic reach. Like you use a new feature, then it goes down, and it's like new feature again. Like Reels blows up. Like you can get like 5K views in like 2 seconds. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's like, I think it's a good thing. I think it will be interesting to see how TikTok do come out with it, because I feel like the video elements, their main feature, along with the filters and the music element, like the audio element. So I think it'll be good. But it'd be interesting. I want to advertise on it. I can't wait to, and being able to share my tips on those things as well. So yeah, I think it's good. It's a good little look, man. Good.
Yeah, it'd be good to see how brands show up on there as well. Because I know a lot of corporate brands will see TikTok as an opportunity, but then they bring that corporate self onto TikTok, and that's obviously not the way to do it. Like TikTok's a user generated platform, so you need to go on there with user generated content rather than going with your corporate campaigns and trying to bully your way into the market. And we'll see a lot of businesses fail in that space because of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll see, man. We'll see. And I think more people coming on to TikTok as well. So we'll see how the audience kind of starts shifting as well. Because it will start to mature, just like how Instagram has, like Facebook. Like it will start to mature eventually, and we'll see, I guess, how it turns out, man. How it turns out. But yeah, I feel like that's it. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's it for this episode, man. I feel like we touched on some good points. I hope everyone, got a little insight into Instagram. And yeah, man, we got some more videos coming next week for you guys. And yeah, man, that's a wrap. That's the end.
Yeah.